Hey y'all, it's your girl Carmen, and we're back with another episode of the Tu Novio podcast. Where we ask the real questions, but we also have some time for some chisme because, hello, we have to. And I'm so excited because on this episode titled "What's Goodie at the Bodega," I feel like it's the episode that you have to watch, not only if you are in the West Coast like me, but also if you're just like everywhere, because honestly, New York culture, New York slang, New York idioms are worldly. And I have the pleasure of announcing Michelladonna here for the Latina Heritage Month episode. Okay.
Hey.
Hi. Girl, it's a pleasure to have you because, well, first we have to get into how we kind of connected. If you want to talk a little bit about how you got involved with that group chat that we were a part of.
Yeah, I think I saw on Instagram someone was looking for DJs and just like folk folk who want to grow and learn and connect with community, and I DM'd the person, and then they were nice enough to put me in an event with Carmen. But then I won't be able to make the event anymore. But then Carmen was like, still, let's link up. So here we are today. Yeah, that was random off of
Yeah.
Instagram, but I have gotten so many opportunities and have met some incredible people through the internet. So that's why I'm never shy of DMing. I'm like, hey, what's this about? Looks good. Yeah.
Right. No, I had to slide in your DMs. Like once we were connected through that group chat, I was like, you know what? I'm really liking the things you're posting. I'm loving the vibe. And especially on this month, I really want to highlight Latina creators out here making just waves. And you're definitely someone that I'm like, you know what? I think I caught it early before everyone else is gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, I knew of da da da. I'm like,
Did
okay, yeah,
you
well, I
hear
interviewed
that?
her first.
Did you
I
hear
interviewed her
that?
first.
And you're correct. And that's not me stroking my ego a little bit, but it's true, bro. Like, I'm like, y'all don't even know. This is the before. This is so the before. Y'all don't even, yo.
Mhm.
So yes, you are correct.
I mean, I'm excited. I'm so excited. For everyone listening, I have Michelladonna here, and for those of you watching, I have her here on the podcast. But you got to tell us a little bit about just your multi hyphenate self, because I know you from Bodega Chat. That was my first interaction with you. So, kind of talk to me about how did that come about? Because it looks so polished, but it's also like very New York, which I love.
I'm like gagged at you saying it's polished because I'm really like every time I look at a video, I'm like, this could be 1,000 times better, and that's just the quality of work I like to get done. This is good for one camera, one producer in my living room, but I know where I want it to be, and so I'm like, it's a work in progress. But okay, multi hyphenate, boom.
Mhm.
I got ADHD. My brain works in so many different ways that I can't possibly just put all my eggs in one basket. And that's the type of person I am too.
Mhm.
Like, I don't just talk about one thing all the time. I talk about several things that I'm very passionate about all the time. So, I founded a community organization. I started doing stand up a little ago, like a few years ago. I really didn't see the space in stand up. Now, I didn't grow up watching stand up. I started watching stand up when I became a comedian. Like literally I went to a show and I was like, all right, I guess I gotta clock in for work. And like no, literally. And I really wanted to create spaces for people like myself, but also I know that I just want to talk to people. I've realized like I really love connecting with other human beings. I don't know where they are. It doesn't matter. Like, I want to talk to everyone. Like, I feel like everyone has something to share with the world. And our inner children kind of connect like what you get excited about a topic, and it's like the most exciting thing to like, well, I do this and this is my passion, and I love seeing that from other people. And that's kind of how Bodega Chat came to be. I really wanted to create my own space where it made sense that I wanted to do what I wanted to do. Like, I don't like people telling me what to do. And if you're telling me that
Yeah.
all I can do is do stand up and get in front of a crowd and try to sling jokes, I was like, nah, there's got to be something else. So I mean, everyone has a podcast. I'm like, let me do one that I would want to listen to, where it's like just two people just chatting and on some like ADHD shit, like just from one place to another. Like one of my favorite episodes was with my friend Jess Henderson. We started like talking about like the government, ended talking about spirituality. Like it was so beautiful, and I got to know all of my guests on such a deeper level than just knowing them as comedians or artists. And I feel like, you know, it was the realest. I mean, it has happened before with I'm finna talk, but you really have to invest in yourself before anyone can invest in you. Like you have to blindly believe in yourself before other people can hop on to blindly believe in you too. And that
No, you
was
gotta be like your biggest supporter.
your biggest supporter, because no one is gonna do it for you. No one is going to like come out of nowhere and be like, babe, like I need you to do this and this and unless you're already at a certain level. But for when you're just fucking
Right.
grinding, like you have to put in the work. And I've seen, it's very interesting to see, like even me, that I want more resources. I want a writer's room. I want, you know, a better set, like cameras, you know, all these things. Um, and I'm criticizing myself, but at the same time, like I pushed myself and to create this idea, and then to also like be incredibly intentional about how it was coming out into the world and what are the messages that we're trying to get across. So anyways, that's how I got into Bodega Chat.
I love
And
that.
yeah.
No, for real, what I really love too, and I want to emphasize because this month, obviously, you know, it's our month. What I really want to emphasize too is like, I had seen this clip of this girl interviewing, and she was like to the actress that I can't think of right now, but it will come to me.
Oh my God,
She
Grace.
was like, "You're Latina enough." Yeah, there was a viral clip. She was interviewing. I'm literally can't think of the name right now, but
Oh, okay,
it just
okay,
brought me
okay,
to
okay.
a point
Yeah.
of like, yeah, like I'll insert the clip too, but there are so many ways to pay homage to your culture, where you come from, who you are, and kind of like create a space for you creatively. I know for me back in the day, like I would be kind of like embarrassed to be like, dang, like should I put it out there that I'm Mexican? You know, like back
Yeah.
in the day I really was. I was like, what the hell? So the fact that your podcast is called Bodega Chat, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people they have an idea of what a bodega is, but you really do know what that is, and it is part of like your culture too. So can you like tell us a little bit like why that's so important to you to just, be like, you know what? I'm Colombian, I'm Latina, I'm this, and I got this podcast. Like it is part of your extension of like culture.
Yeah. I feel that in the places that I'm surrounded in comedy, there's very few real New Yorkers. And no shade,
Mm.
but the girls are coming from Iowa, coming from Texas, they're coming from Ohio, and like amazing. I love that. Follow your dreams, absolutely. But
Right.
I really dislike people that are not from New York talking about New York. And I can imagine people from LA hate people that are not from LA talking about LA, like same thing. it is so real to me. Like, I love
Mhm.
a bodega. My bodega is my safe space. Like, I know I could sit down and talk to like papi behind the counter, just like, brother, like this and this and that. And actually, I did do an episode of Bodega Chat with him. So excited for that. I mean, not Bodega Chat. I did an episode of
Mhm.
Shop Cats with him, which is a new show that I'm doing. And I'm so excited because we literally just
I saw
chatted.
that.
But a period. But you know, it's very real that gentrification has come into my neighborhood. And it's something that
Mhm.
I've really struggled with for a lot of years because you feel incredibly powerless because there's quite literally nothing you can do about it. You can protest until you are blue in the face, but people are still going to come into the neighborhood. The houses and the apartments are still going to
Mhm.
get renovated and get their rents, put up, increased. This is so real for me. And something that is pretty iconic with when you look at New York City and just any neighborhood is a bodega. And, we have a thing here where if you're a real New Yorker, you can tell by the bodega what type of neighborhood it is and what's happening. Um, if you see
Mm.
kombucha, no shade, but if I see kombucha, I know the rent is going up. If you saw a Starbucks in your neighborhood, you know the rent is going up. So, bodega chat is also a way to not only talk about I'm from here, these are my roots. Like, I stay negotiating with the men behind the bodega counter. Like, I stay, talking to them like we're all uncles, we're all boys. But at the same time, what the beauty is of it all is that everyone in any different race, social class, education, whatever sexuality you are, you go into the bodega and you meet. That's the
Mhm.
melting pot of it all. Like, that's where you meet the world. So I feel like it's a place that belongs to New York, but it also belongs to everyone that is in New York, following their dreams, trying to, create a new life for themselves. And that's what's so beautiful about New York, that it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, like, you can be whoever you want to be in this city. Like, no one cares. Like, you always hear about, oh my God, New Yorkers are so mean, because we don't care. We're busy. So, okay, you want to put on a tutu and like wear the hat in reverse. We don't give a fuck. As long as you're not annoying me and stopping the train, like, do whatever you want. And that's the beauty of New York, that
Right, do
nobody
you?
nobody cares. Yeah, we're busy. We're happy you're happy. Like, go ahead.
And I love that too because what I've been seeing is that you not only like tied in your next show with Bodega Chat, because at the bodega you also see, or from what I've seen, like there's a lot of cats there. So talk to me about this new show, because this new show I feel like has popped up, and I see that you just did one episode from what I see online. And just like the impact that it's had, the virality is crazy. And I feel like a lot of people are talking about it, whether they have their opinions or what have you. But it's like you're literally putting on people that maybe they don't really get a spotlight all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got very lucky. Obviously, I'm working with a production company that is so they are taking really good care of me and listen to me. And
Production.
yes, and they listen to me, which is really important, especially when you're just still growing and you want to go into a
Mhm.
partnership that feels good. And you know it's called shop cats, so it's not only bodega cats, but there is an abundance of bodega cats.
Mhm.
And I mean, who doesn't like a kitty? Like, the idea was brought to me, and I was like, this sounds amazing.
It's a
Because
secret sauce.
exactly, I'm like, I love talking to people. It's just a good old recipe. I love talking to people. You make it 90 seconds, nice and quick.
Mhm.
Cats, people love, Americans love their animals. We all know this. They love their pets. And like make it bubbly and feel good. Like, why not? And yeah, it's a chance I was the one that requested it to also be translated in Spanish because I was like, no. I literally showed the video to my mom and she was like, oh, I wish I could send it to my girls, my friends, but they all speak Spanish. They wouldn't understand this. I'm like, hold on, let me try to do something. And then yeah, we're translating
You're
every
like, these
episode.
moms get the tip.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So I'm
love
like,
that.
yeah, so we're doing it in Spanish as well, the captions. And it really is a chance for people to see a different side of New Yorkers. Cause I know this side. I know the side of like the guys behind the counter being like, what you want, mommy? Or like, mad sweet. It's like, maybe disrespectful somewhere else, but to me it's like, he's taking care of me, like he loves me. And just like the people I just kind of like giving that humanity back. Like, not that nobody took it away, but like sometimes we see folks that are doing labor intensive jobs, like or like
I
food, like
was just about to point that. Yeah.
it's just like that's that person making my food. It's like, actually his name is Ramiro and he's so sweet if you just talk to him. And that's what I've realized with the like straight up talking to people. I will talk to anyone.
Mhm.
Like, I love chatting. If I have the energy and I'm feeling the vibes, I'm chatting. And so that's what I think that's also something we really, really wanted to do. I was really invested. They're like, let's make a show about cats. And I was like, but then we can also bring in all the stories of like that people wouldn't know. Like, I know that, okay, first of all, men, okay, sure, whatever. But men with pets, men with their kitty cats, I see that. I want to see that. I want to see that juicy inner, soft baby like bear that you like, oh my God, I love my kitty. Like, I want to see that. I want to see you kiss your kitten on the forehead. Like, come on, like, let me see. Like, that's the stories that you're like, oh, I see that guy all the time, and he looked like a little scary to me because of my prejudices already established. But regardless, like, now I'm seeing him in a different light because he was so
Right.
sweet, and it's like, damn, maybe I should have opened my mouth and said something and try to connect with him the next time I go to the bodega. Thank you.
I I love this. Yeah, no, for real. I think it's a recipe for success. And
Amen.
if you're listening or watching, definitely tune in to both Bodega Chat and Shop Cats, the show, because I'm telling you, we're early on, okay? This is the early stages before everything else. And
See y'all.
you can't do this by yourself. So we got to talk a little bit about the community, because I know you were out in the community before all of this, and you had started this org called I'm Finna Talk. Definitely very heavy on the queer identity, putting people on for an open mic. And to me, that's so important. Like, oftentimes the reason why I connect with a lot of these creators are because I'm like, oh, shoot, like, I can actually attend their events, or in some shape or form, I'm like, I feel comfortable coming up to them and talking to them, or even like sending a message. So community is so important. How do you think that kind of like led you into like doing more projects?
Yeah, I will say I have been about my community since I can remember. Like, I was always club director or leader president in high school. I don't think we had anything in middle school. I don't remember. But high school and college, I was really a huge advocate for whatever club I was in or organization. And, in college, I founded the Business Students of Color Coalition because we needed support and money and attention from our school, and we got it. But those were definitely, how I've always wanted to care about the collective. And I always want people to like, if people feel that they can't speak up, I'm the person that will speak up. Because I'm just loud and I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Just
I'm
that
like,
Leo fire.
yeah, something's wrong, y'all. Let's figure it out, you know? Um, so what ended up getting me into I'm Finna Talk was that I was working, it was my first like entertainment job. I was working at a studio and I kept telling my boss I really wanted to have like community events. I was their community director over there, and I was like, I really want to do this open mic where it's just queer people of color and this and that, because in those days
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of starting comedy, and the places that I kept going to do open mics were just white men laughing at each other, broing it up. And it's like, y'all could be white, no shit. Like, you could do that. You could be a cis, period. Like, do whatever you need. But at the same time,
Yeah.
can you also create a space that like I feel any type of comfortable at? And it's like it was so trippy because it'd be like
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on these jokes. I know I'm funny, and then it would be like men laughing at their own friend's joke, and then it would be like racist, homophobic, transphobic, all the phobias, and I'm like, gotta be better than this. What's going on? And then also you have to pay $5 to do an open mic, and then also I'm not even gonna say
That is
much.
so true because your events are free from what I heard. $3.99.
Mine.
That's what I heard.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. Yeah, I'm about to get into it.
And
No,
yeah.
so then I got
Okay, yeah, I heard you went through.
no, no, no. It is that was I'm building it. I'm building it. I'm building it. So then basically, I went to my boss and I was like, "Hey, this is what I want. I want a free event for queer BIPOC people. I want us to do this, this, this. I want to give out this stuff for free." And he was like, "I really don't care about that." And I was like, "You're so right." So I left. And I did it myself. So I ended up getting a grant. Period. I hate when people say no to me. Like, I'll do it myself. I don't care. Anyways, so yeah, sure, I left that organization a little after that. And then for other reasons too, not only because he said no to my idea, but it was other stuff going on. And
Mhm. You're like, thank
I
you for saying no.
sorry?
You're kind of like, thank you for saying no. If he hadn't said that, it was
Right.
meant to
Who would have
be.
known where a wool, what done. But that fall I entered for a grant because I had this idea and I was like, I can see it in my brain. I'm very visual in like the way I manifest. I have to see it. I have to see the details. And then I'll be like, I know, I got it. And I had this whole vision, and then I saw someone post like a $5,000 grant for a community like event. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And I applied for it, and I swear to God, I got it. And I was like, oh my God, what? It was like for $5,000. I went, I
Dang.
found the space, I paid everyone I could. You learn a lot about business after that first one. Oh boy. But that was when I started it. It was free. We had a workshop. We had an open mic. I had free plants. I had free plant medicine. I think I had like snacks and stuff as well. I had a photographer, videographer. I had everyone there. And at the end of the event, people were asking me. Oh, I also give out free journals and pens because the whole point is for us to write our experiences and like talk about them so people don't think we're like a monolith. But after the first event, people just kept asking me, when's the next one? And I was like, if that's what y'all want. And
Hmm.
here we're about to be 3 years. We're about to do 3 years in October. So that's really beautiful. Most of our events are free, if not sliding scale. And we always, always tell people like if there's ever a need, you just DM us and we'll figure it out. Because I know that sometimes I have been in
Hmm.
situations where I cannot possibly spend $20 to go to an open mic or spend $20 to go into an event. I just want to be surrounded by beautiful community members and, gather resources and gather, education. But it doesn't mean that I have to hurt my own pockets because, you know, the situation out there is tough. And so it was like, whatever you can do, you can do. But yeah, most of our events are free. And we give out a bunch of free stuff. We've been very lucky to gather, some sponsors that give us either, capital money found, kind of sponsorship or items as well. We give out free gender affirming items. So I mean, right now, if anyone's in New York and is listening to this, if you'll be in New York October 12th, we're going to have our 3rd-year anniversary. It's called We Finna Love. And we're gonna have a free gender affirming pop-up
Let me
shop.
know.
Period. Yeah, we're gonna have DJs. We're gonna have mutual aids. We're gonna have small business vendors. It's just gonna be like literally like a little carnival. Oh, cumbia workshop and an open mic to go back to the OG root of it all. But it's gonna be a vibe. And so if anyone's down, come through. If you're queer, person of color, come through. This is literally for us by us. Like, we're doing whatever the people want. Like, what y'all want to do? Okay, bet, let's do it. Like, that's my vibe. Yeah.
I love that too because, like I had mentioned, Michelladonna is Colombian and cumbia, originated from Colombia. Just putting it out there. And I think that's so important. You know what I mean? So, like, also too, like, if you want to do one out here in LA, you're out here. Let me know. I would love to support this bi-coastal life of yours.
Yeah, no, we
Definitely
did.
love that.
Yeah, no, we were having events in LA and it was lovely. I think we had 3 events that were lovely. The thing is that I want to take like a step to really learn more about the LA community and what they feel that they need and collaborate with some more folks out there.
Mhm.
Because nobody really knows about us in LA and our energy is very different. I'll just say that.
Mhm. That kind of leads me to the next thing about maybe like some challenges and triumphs you've had as a creator, whether it's out in LA or in New York.
Mm.
If you want to talk about that, maybe like your mental health. But overall, like it sounds like being back in New York might be a really good thing for you as
Yeah,
an uplifting
yeah.
moment and things like that. But how
Yeah,
do you feel?
mental health wise, I feel like I put so much on myself when it comes to like, dude, I don't know if it like you do this, but I wake up and I'm like, how do I get to generational wealth? Like, you're wasting this second thinking about it, So I'm very focused on like how to get to the
I
next
feel like,
level. Yeah. And so mental health,
mhm,
I have realized that's why I need my community. That's why I need my friends. Like, I will like call my friends and be like, hey,
mhm,
and they're like, bitch, you do this. You can have a day off. And I'm like, and they're just like there for me. And, like, this summer was genuinely so beautiful because I came to New York to really like come back to my roots and just like I'm like, I need to align myself. I need to ground myself a little bit. And yeah, I
mhm,
feel like when you go to new spaces and you create, new experiences for yourself, you have to be realistic with how much you're like walking away from, right? You need to know also just like it's okay to like things don't happen overnight and you have to work your way and it's okay if things are slow
mhm,
because like that's just how the world works. Like, it's not unless daddy has money or daddy has connections, then it's a lot easier. But like, I'm a little old girl from Queens. My mom, I'd be like, Mom, I have this really important thing that just happened. She'd be like, okay, wash the dishes. Like, I'm like, okay, period. So, it's a lot of self-affirming yourself, and finding the things that
mhm,
help you feel good upstairs and about your body as well. So I do a lot of yoga and meditation because my brain is always like so yoga and meditation is like take a moment and breathe. And you don't know, like so many times we forget to breathe. Like
No, that's so real. I so relate to you about the rat race in my head of like me just like but it's so real. I feel like maybe only a few people really feel that way, and I genuinely believe it's just like that thing in you that only you know that you're like, like I'm kind of destined for this in a way.
yeah.
Um so yeah, you just got to keep going. And I do appreciate, the friends that do check in on me. And I know for you too, like you have a core group of homegirls or just friends in general that you're like, they're supporting you. They know kind of like the goals that you're after, what you're trying to do. And I think that's really fucking cool because not everybody gets it. Not sometimes our parents don't even understand what it is we do. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, Mija, that's cool. That's cute. That's a cute video." Like, so you know what I mean? You just
Oh,
gotta be like, "All right,
my life. Yeah.
right, yeah." I'm like, "Mom, what the hell? Like, just can you tap on it? Can you like it? Just share it with your
Yeah,
friends."
no, yeah. I totally understand. And that's what's so important. I feel like having friends that are not that are like in other jobs and doing other things. Like I'm my close, I would say if you tell me top 5, like top 10 people that are in my life that if I have an emergency I will call them, most of them are not. I would say maybe one person is in comedy. Like these my friends are so off, like they do not do any of this, and that's how I know they love me because they answer every post,
Mhm.
they buy a ticket for every event. They every time I'm like, "Hey, I have this. Can you follow me?" Sure. Sure, sounds good, Michelle. Like and they
Yeah.
like they don't even realize, and I try to tell them every time I'm a Cancer Venus. Let's just I know I'm rare and all of this. Oh, okay. You
Mhm.
can still see me, right? Okay. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, boots. I
Yes.
know I'm very Leo and all of that, but I am a Cancer like Venus. I want to tell people how much I love them and how much I appreciate them. After the hang, I'm the friend that's like, I love you and I can't imagine my life without you. And at the end of the day, I would die for you. Like that is me after we hang out for 45 minutes. Like I because I am an only child, so these my family is my closest friends, and these are literally like my brothers and sisters, my siblings, my aunts, my
Yeah.
uncles, my everything. And so I really hold them to really close to me, and I don't have too much of a large circle because I am very trusting, I'm very loyal. And so those are the people that I know do not they just want me to be happy. They do not care. Like I've already told them all of
Mhm.
y'all are invited to my cute ass island that I'm going to have in a redacted part of Colombia that I won't say out loud. But they're all just like, yeah, babe, whatever. I'll post, and they repost my things, and they comment on it, and they bookmark it, and they share it, and something as small as that, like, yo, really makes a difference. I peep, bro. I can peep everything. So I that it means
Same.
so much. It means so much. Yeah, it's like y'all don't understand. I'm on the other side. I can see everything. Anyways, whatever.
I love that. I love like walking through that with you. And then I gotta know because, obviously, like if you're tuning into the episode, I'm gonna go heavy on the promotions of this, which
Period.
I have to. But I always ask people, and my guests out here, like, what do you see yourself in the next year or next 2 years? Just because things be going quick. And I always kind of just live in the immediate future because I really don't know where I am going to be 10 years from now. I don't know. But, maybe a year or two from now, I could kind of gauge it. So I guess what plans do you have for yourself, or if not, like dreams that you're like, oh shit, like I think this is kind of going in this direction.
Yeah, wow, that's so interesting because I'm actually the opposite. I think 10 years away and not about the next two. So it's mad interesting. I have my
Ooh.
goals for
Okay.
2024. Let me
Well, if
see.
you want to share the longer plan,
No,
I'm down
I'm
to
not,
hear too.
you said that to share this, to share what? Sorry.
I'm like, if you want to share the immediate ones or the long term ones, I'm down
Yeah.
with
Okay,
whichever.
sorry. I thought you said read the whole list and I was like, no. Y'all not gonna know all of that. Don't worry. Okay, let me see. Mhm. Mm. Um okay, in 10 years. In 10 years I want to have um community centers around the world. I want to be able for people to like pick up gender affirming items or take a class or get a suit, like whatever. I really have this really beautiful image of what a community center could be. A place to hold free community events, and a place to also is like almost like a little store and give out stuff for free. I love that. I don't know how it's gonna work, and I'm not gonna worry about that right now because there's so much money in the world that someone somewhere can definitely
Mhm.
afford to like let a girl have a few shots. But I love that. I really want to have a few of those around the world, especially Colombia, because I know like just
Mhm.
understanding how my mom grew up. I feel like, even if kids are not queer or whatever, like I still want to be able to provide for kids in a community that need it and need support in whatever ways. And then I also want to have a production company that really highlights new and exciting voices, because the biggest reason I
Mhm.
started doing comedy, the biggest reason I write and try to share my point of view, and even acting when I do that, I don't like I, I think I've done one nurse role, but everything that would see is like housekeeping or the nanny or the. I'm like, fuck that. We could do so much more. We're so fucking funny. Like, Latina women have so many sides, but y'all wouldn't even know because you're not asking, you're not looking. Like, you just want the same boring ass stereotype story. And that is what I don't like. And that is literally the opposite that I want my organization to do. I want new stories to come in. I want us, like, everything everywhere all at once was so incredible because it was so freaking original and true. Like, to obviously not the fucking jumping through different timelines, but like the differences in how people react and to coming out, or the differences of like how immigrant moms like take care, you know what I'm saying, like, and that movie is one of my
The
favorite
different
movies.
stories.
Yeah, and it's like that movie tore the industry up, honey, because it was like, oh shit, you could do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You just gotta fucking focus and find the scripts that
Mhm.
are good and that will create other worlds that we have not seen on screen yet. So yeah, that's my vibe.
I love that. And I love too that from me hearing that is a lot of things that it's not just like, oh, I want this for me. It's like, yes, I'm also getting something, but I'm also putting it out. So I love the reciprocity of, you know. So
Oh,
I vibe with that.
yeah,
I
no,
love
I
that.
feel like, honestly, I feel like we're past a time where consumers would buy into just the celebrity aspect of someone. Like, I don't think we care about that as much anymore. We want to make sure that whoever we're giving money, consuming,
Good.
is also a good person. And obviously, I'm not like, okay, I check off every box, but I'm just like, I need to give my time and energy. And my biggest thing, I always say this, I say this every single time because I truly, truly believe is that if I'm eating, we are all eating. Like everyone on my table has to eat at that point. Like, because then I don't feel good. I don't want to do everything. Like, I want my friends to come along on this crazy ass journey with me. Like, I've already asked my friends, like, what position do you want to play? Like, babe, like, do you want to be my security guard? Let's fucking go. Like, what do you want to do? Like,
Same.
so my thing is like, that's the mentality I have. It's not even like I'm doing it on purpose. Like, sure, my intention is to like take care of people around me and take care of my community at large, but I'm just doing it because that's how I was raised. My mom came from very, very little, and like even on the day where she doesn't have anything, she will still share her plate with someone else. Like that's how I learned. That has been ingrained in my body, in my brain for as long as I know, and it has never been like she the same way that if someone complains, I'm the one that speaks up. She has always been that. Like I've always seen her do that. My mom, and that's community leader, and that's just kind of how that ended up getting passed down. So grateful to her. Shout out to my mom. And yeah, let's
Great.
because like, what's the point of all of this if you don't have anyone to share with, you know?
Facts. No, for real. Like I'm the same way, and I think it's so important too, because like I'm gonna be highlighting more Latino, Latina creators that I see that they have the same foundation or the same ideas of, the putting themselves on, but also like others, whether it's like philanthropic or community service or however that looks like, because everyone has their own thing. But yeah, a lot of these folks that I'm going to be talking to, I'm like inspired by at the same time, because I'm always like, oh shoot, like there's so many different paths to do this entertainment thing. And I love that because I feel like now with like social media too, you kind of have the power to put yourself on. Like you don't really need like this ticket into acting, into podcasting. Like you could do your own projects, you could do your own production. So I love that. And yeah, before we close off, like I want to give you, the space to kind of like shout out who you are, where we can connect with you, and any upcoming events coming up for the month of September/October. But yeah, this was a really, really needed conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on, Carmen. I will say a few things. My name's Michelladonna. Tap into me if you just like silly feel good stuff. Content coming at you. I'm Michelladonna on my Instagram and on TikTok, and I think on Twitter I'm Michelladonna7. And yeah, tap into Bodega Chat, my podcast where I sit down with creatives and talk so many things. Like we go all over the place. We definitely talk about what their favorite bodega order is and just go through a different adventure every time. Tap into Shopcat's show if you like kitties and you want to see the real New York, like real beautiful, genuine, good-hearted people that
Mhm.
we are. Tap into that. I'm Finna Talk, which is an organization for queer BIPOC folks. So if that is your identity, please tap in. Even if you're on the West Coast, we might go back there one day. We might have an event there one day. We don't know, but we've had in the future. So yeah. Tap in there. Yeah, and if you're in New York, I'm Finna Talk is having their third year anniversary on October 12th at Nowadays from 2 to 6 p.m. We're going to have a bunch of free gender affirming items, mutual aid, small business vendors, some sponsors, and a bunch of free stuff. It's just going to be a good time. If you like me, you want to get to know me a little bit more, I'm also having Bodega Chat Live. as part of the New York Comedy Festival, which is like a big deal. Oh my god. Is the 20th anniversary of the thank you of right? And I'm just like, I'm just a little old girl from Queens. Like, so this is a lot of fun to be doing. I'm gonna have some really amazing comedians doing stand up, but then I'm also gonna have like a bodega chat session with them, with some other comedians, and I'm also yes, I'm also going to have free chips with every ticket, um, some audience games and prizes, and I can't really promote this, so just know it's gonna be there, but I'm not like promoting it. But I'm also gonna have a pigeon.
Okay.
A live pigeon. Is good.
Pigeon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm insane, but
I
I'm
love
happy.
that.
And then what else do I do? I'm like, let me see. No, I think that's and then I have a show that I do pop-up vibes, like a comedy show called Muñecas Sucias. And we do that kind of whenever we feel like it. And that is in New York as well. But that is basically a show where we literally create a lineup to highlight queer and BIPOC folks. And it's a lot of fun. It's like a good old party. Like it's me and my co-host, and we just start like me and my co-host, you would think we're cousins. So it's just like imagine going to your cousin's house that's a little like annoying, and they're like, Nena, like what are we doing today? So it's just a lot of fun. And but those are pop-up vibes. So because my co-host and I we do a lot. So that's like a special event type thing. We just had one in June at the Bauhaus, which is a huge place to have a comedy show at. And that was really lovely and it came out really beautifully. So definitely tap into any clips on my Instagram. Okay, that was so long with that. I'm so multi-happening. Oh, I also DJ under Fairy Godmother. But that's like if you know, you know, and if I want to tell you, I tell you.
Right. I
But
had to do my
that's
research. I found that out. I was like, oh,
right. I feel like that's very much like, your friend. I'm saying for the future, right? Like my friend is maybe gonna have a clothing line, and it's like, oh my god, like, hey, can you do me a favor? I'm like, all right,
yeah,
sure, I'll do it. I'll
yeah.
pop. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, what the fuck? What is she doing up there? And it's like, yeah, it's me. I DJ too. It's just fun. What else do I do? Like, oh my god, I don't know. I do yoga and tap in, and I'm always down to collaborate and work with people, and always supporting community. If I'm eating, we're all eating, and I hope y'all have adapt to this mentality as well, because guys, we need to help each other. There's so much everything in the world, like,
Yeah.
let's help each other.
I love it. Everyone, if you stayed all the way through the episode, trust and believe all the information will be in the link in the description of the video, as well as you're going to be seeing a lot of Michelladonna on our Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, all of that. Because yeah, like this is the first guest, Latino Latinx Heritage Month. And I'm super, super excited because, man, I feel like we should have met before you had left. But, the universe is going to do something. Who knows? Maybe I'll be in New York. Who knows? Because, yeah, like I definitely see your vibe and I love it. And I'm just really excited that you were down to be on the show. And I'm just excited. So, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being the first guest of the month. And yeah, with that, y'all, don't forget more episodes to come, and tap in with Michelladonna on all platforms. You already know where to follow. And tune in